Okay. Today we're going to talk about how your affair partner may be avoiding responsibility. Now, if you're in an affair relationship with a married man and really feeling like you're going in circles, not really getting anywhere, then this video is for you. This video isn't about just putting the blame on others. We obviously know in life that that's not going to serve us. It's not going to bring us to our own place of strength, because ultimately at the end of the day we have all the power in our hands to shift our own self without necessarily shifting others. However, what I have seen over the last couple of years or many years with working with women that are in affair relationships is that a lot of the women that I encounter take on responsibility, where they are blaming themselves, judging themselves, and not at the same time calling forward better behavior in the men that they're engaging with. And so this video is not necessarily about, okay, put all the blame onto someone else, but it's about an opportunity for you to see where you may be missing signs that are actually unhealthy in the partner that you're interacting with. And once we see these clearly, then we can set boundaries around them. So the first one, and also I just want to add here, you may also do some of these things. And when you notice these things, it's again, we don't need to judge ourselves. We don't need to blame ourselves. We just need to see where it's impacting our ability to fully live in our strength in life. So the first one is minimizing the experience of what either is going on a whole or just little experiences that you have encountered with him. If he makes it small or says, oh, it's really not that much, or come on, calm down, you're overreacting. If he's making it small, then he's not honoring the experience, say, that you're having or that is going on in his life. If we're making it small, then we're cutting down what actually needs to happen in order to move through this. Making it small is just an easy way of saying it's nothing, we don't need to deal with it. When in actual fact, we do need to deal with it. This is something that needs to be addressed. And so let's start addressing it. The next one is humor. Does your partner resort to being fun, playful, cheeky when you've brought up a conversation that is serious? The thing is, when he is confronted head on, and you could also do this, it's like, where are we actually diluting the significance of our experience? I personally, we grew up in a funny household, cracking jokes and stuff. And then the more I healed, the more I was like, why are we joking about this conversation when it's actually something that needs to be talked about? And so I would also invite you to do the same. Where are you resorting to humor, or where is your affair partner resorting to humor when a conversation or something actually needs to be moved through? We can laugh about something in the moment and find a hit of lighter energy in the moment, and yet has something actually been addressed? Have we actually moved through this, or is it again still left unaddressed? The next one is sending the blame outside of oneself. So if you have noticed that he blames, judges, criticizes other people, it's where are you also neglecting to see that you too have a part in this? And again, we can flip this around to seeing where this shows up in ourselves. But what I often see in a relationship is one does more of the pointing and one does more of the self-shaming and self-criticizing. And so if you're the one that is taking on a lot of the blame and being like, how can I be better? How can I do better? How can I shift my ways in order to make this situation better? You're constantly taking on responsibility of others. And so maybe your part in this is actually more about being like, no, hold on a second. I also ask that you to stand forward and address this as well. Address the things that you're not addressing, as opposed to putting it all on me. I want to go into long-term planning. Now, this can go in multiple directions. Uh, he may long-term plan as a way to lure you in, or he may avoid long-term plans as a way of avoiding the future. So let's go into two pieces. One is that he really talks about the long-term plan so much without actually addressing what's right in front of you. So where is there this future, as opposed to addressing what's right now here that needs to be addressed? The other alternative is where they don't say any future things or long-term plans, and yet you're engaging with them and wondering where things are going. How much skin in the game do they really have? Are they really including me in the future, or am I just being strung along here thinking that this is something going to go somewhere when really he's just playing around with me? Next, I want to go into the emotional experience of your fair partner. If he says he's going through so much, he's in a really difficult situation right now, finances are really slim. Right now, my marriage is not going well, and I need to be gentle on my wife and not bring up difficult conversations because she's going through a lot of stress, or any of these factors. Again, it's avoiding confronting things head on. We are going through something right now and it needs to be addressed. Why are we bringing up the difficulties in life that are going to stop us from actually having the difficult conversations? The difficult conversations need to be had. And so when are you going to have them? For you, if you have noticed that your affair partner often says like, oh, I'm really stressed with finances right now. I'm really stressed because my affair part, my wife is going through pregnancy or is going through a health crisis, and I really need to be there for her. And in that process, you're like, okay, let me back off so that he can go through his experience because he's really carrying a lot. It actually compromises you. And so, what I would invite you to do is really hold to the standard of what you seek in a relationship without lowering yourself because he's just going through a hard time. No, you can be compassionate for someone that is going through a hard time. However, you also need to make sure this is what I seek in a relationship, and I'm not seeing that from you right now. I need to see that you're willing to take action, whether it be in a messy time and it's difficult and it doesn't make sense. I need to know that you're willing to stand forward in this in order to choose for us. On top of that, is the promising of action without actually having any change. Where does he promise, okay, once my wife has gone through this situation and she's calmer, then I can have the conversation with her, or once this happens, or once the finances, or once I get through this job, then things can change. What you deserve is to have someone moving mountains to want to be in a relationship with you. And the reality is, he's married, he has his commitments. This is very true. And so then this comes back onto you. Are you really willing to put yourself in a relationship when someone's not ready for you? If I was you in this situation, what I would be doing is standing back and saying, well, you're not ready then. And this is clear because he's married. You're not ready, and come to me if you are ready in the future. But you're not ready. And I see that. And so I don't want to engage in that until I see that you're fully ready, fully clean, clear slate, ready to invest in a new relationship. You don't want to be second. You don't want to be a second woman. And even when he goes through, say, a divorce or something, I would still say that you would feel second because there's still a lot of emotions that he needs to clean up in order to be fully a priority to you. So don't you compromise yourself to just get hints or crumbs of him. Set the bar high, set the boundary, and ask him, well, I'm available if I see that you're fully available too. And so I can't keep waiting around, waiting for you to be available. If you want to take the action, if you don't want to take the action right now because you're stressed, that's ultimately up to you. And I respect that, but I can't continue to engage in a relationship where I feel like I'm coming second. Lastly, I want to talk about confusion. If you're constantly confused in this, question that. Confusion isn't necessarily a problem that you're having with yourself, but maybe a problem that's coming up in this relationship. It can be a problem. It can be a challenge that we have within ourselves where we haven't felt full self-confidence to believe in ourselves. And yet, if you're constantly feeling confused, I would also ask, where is my partner not leading with full clarity, strength, certainty, consistency that is causing me to doubt myself, to be confused? Where may the blame get put on me? Where may gaslighting happen in this relationship that causes me to doubt everything that's happening? So I hope that helps with some of the things that is avoiding um, responsibility. Another one is avoiding conflict and just not wanting to go there. The reality is, if there's challenges that are going on, speak to them, bring it up. If it's silenced, it's still happening underneath the surface, even if you're not talking about it. So I really encourage you to talk about things and see what then happens when you do bring things up. If it becomes more difficult, then this really highlights how the relationship will be in terms of communication. If things get easier and resolved, then this is a really good thing as well. So I hope that helps. If you're wanting support through this journey, I offer one-to-one coaching as well as a support community for women that are in affair relationships. So if you want help through that, click the links below and I'll be happy, more than happy to support you through this. Bye for now.